Okay, so I'm here with Alan and Richard, who are respectively the DOP and editor on this fantastic short film Stationary Bike, based on a Stephen King novel, well, short story, sorry.
Short story.
Which has been kind of viral how this happened. I mean, it's been mad, all the press. So yeah, welcome.
Hello.
And if one of you could tell me what the synopsis of the story is, that'd be great.
So the basic premise of the film is we follow a guy called Richard who is a widower and has gone into a bit of a slump since his wife unexpectedly passed away. He's become unhealthy, he's become unfit, and he's told by his doctor that he needs to do something about it quite drastically, otherwise he could find himself with serious health complications. So he buys what the Americans call a stationary bike, and he starts exercising on it, but he becomes addicted to it and starts becoming too fit too quickly. And after that point, he starts to have these strange little visions and personified workforce, which represent his lipid system. And then you go into this strange sort of surreal scenario where his body is fighting against him because he's exercising, doing too much too soon. And you don't quite know whether this is real, whether this is in his head. And yeah, it's a bit of a mystery then as the film progresses.
Brilliantly told, thank you. Now, you both worked on previous films with Kevin. Kevin is the filmmaker who we'll talk to shortly. But so how does the gig work in terms of, obviously it's an amazing coup that you get given the green light for this. But once all the paraphernalia's died down, because I know there's been endless brilliant press stuff, what's the next stage? Is it a case of, oh shit, now we've got to do this? I mean, I don't know. Is it all, do you all huddle in a room, or what's kind of the timeline on it?
I think we knew once the publicity had sort of gone round the world, I think we all knew that this one had to be something special. We like our other films, but we knew that we had to pull out all the toys, all the bells and whistles for this in all aspects of production, because we had a lot of people aware of our film and who were desperate to see our film. So we, with Rich being the editor and me being the DP, we sat down and we had a look at what was available to us, didn't we, sort of in all aspects, both during production and post-production, to go, how can we make this the best that we possibly could?
But even before the publicity, because we run the Blind Event Film Academy.
Because there's a really, we should say, close-knit community, and I know this, I don't know if you know, but I am going to come down to 2 ways to meet you, but it's a very, yeah, I mean, that's the only way I can kind of think of it. You're all kind of interlinked in terms of it's a community spirit, and the work is coming, you know, you want to get the people that actually live in the community, right? I mean, I know that's a big thing.
We're all incredibly passionate in our various roles. Fortunately, we've all known and worked with each other for a number of years now, and I think that shows in the film, because what was required pushed us all in our own respective jobs further than I think we've gone before. And I think if we weren't first and foremost friends, rather than just being work colleagues, I think it would have started to sort of fall apart. And I mean, because we know our limitations and what we're capable of doing, we could sort of actually produce the best that we could for the film.
Yeah, sorry, Richard, I interrupted you. I know you were going to say about...
No, even down to before the publicity, because running the film academy, the Blind Event Film Academy, and we knew we'd get the children involved for that. I think there was already that we've got to do this really well, just for the experience with the children, and to show off what the academy can do. But yeah, once all the publicity started coming in, yeah, it was definitely then the kick that, oh crap.
So if we go right back to the beginning, you've been given the green light. You're starting from a blank page. You've got the short story to work against. But what would be the very next thing? I mean, is it a case of, okay, storyboarding it, putting this script together? What comes next?
Yeah, so this one, we knew we had to storyboard this shot for shot, because we had the students in from the Film Academy, which adds another layer of complication on top of filmmaking.
Yeah.
We couldn't have sort of scenes that were too free, because we had a limited time with the students each day to film certain shots. We obviously have our normal filming schedule that we got to keep to, and we want to make it a really worthwhile experience for the students. So we had to be as efficient as we possibly could, so the students could not only sort of see the film, they could take part in the film, and they could learn filmmaking, which is what the Blind and Gwent Film Academy is about. You know, we are so passionate as filmmakers, and we want to pass that on to the next generation that's coming behind us.
And when you're storyboarding, is it done? I mean, I always think naively that it was some guy with a bit of pen and paper drawing a picture. It's not that simple, because I guess it's all done digitally and you actually create. Oh, is it still like that?
No,
because it was two of the older students, along with Kev, that adapted it, as well as Brian, who played Richard, and then they went on, and that was all freehand drawing, just to relay to us. Because at the end of the day, as long as we can make out what they want,
even if it's just stick men.
Yep. Yeah. Just stick men. It's just a basic, and we've got a basic stick drawing, and then we've got our notes underneath of what the scene, what the scene is, and any sort of technical requirements that required for us. So we could have, they want the tracking dolly, they want the camera to move, and then we take that on the day and go, right, okay, we understand what they're asking of us, and then us with the students then set all that shot up. To get the scene that was required.
So now I'd understand how it works in particular internal shots, but does that work? Because let's assume that you're shooting in a valley on the side of a mountain, because I know there's exteriors on this. Yeah. But does it work equally well for that as well?
Yeah, surprisingly, I mean, we are very, very lucky being in Wales that we have some of the best scenery on the planet. Weather can obviously sometimes not so much. We're known for our rain as mainly our summers. So we do have to work around. I know for yourself, wasn't it? Wind was a bit of an issue on some of especially the final scenes on top of the mountain ridge.
Audio,
so we had to work around that. But I mean, Rich as an editor done a fantastic job. Overcoming those challenges.
So have you got your own? I don't know what you use or what cameras you're using, but is it yours or do they belong? How does this all work with? I mean, I'm assuming you're editing on Macs again. I don't know, but all the tools that you use, are they tools that you have?
Yes. Yeah, so we're mostly in PC World with Premiere from the post side, and then the bulk of the film. I think everything was filmed on a 5D Mark III.
Right, okay.
Which is what we've used previously in Blood Moon and The Bench. So it's not. It is stuff that we use. We use for corporate stuff as usual. But the fact that we can bring it in and we can get these gorgeous images that work for this type of thing, just.
No, I can't remember. Is there any drone footage in this?
There is.
So do you do the drone footage as well?
Rich actually operates the drone, and then sort of Kev and myself work with Rich to get the shots that we would like to sort of in the film. We try to limit the drone footage because obviously they are really nice, and a lot of Stephen King films have drone footage in them for establishing shots. It's just kind of a King sort of like homage and reference to have those shots in, but we didn't want to overkill it. Just because you can doesn't mean you should, and so we limited them. And I think it was a good call because when you do see those drone shots, they really do stick out as sort of nice iconic scenes.
I think there's 4 shots in there in the end, and there was was way more shots filmed than that. It is it is that too much of it is going to weaken its impact, as Al said.
And also, I don't know if it's a positive or a negative, but you've got to stick pretty much to a story, not pretty much you have a theme, you have a story you know it's about, but does that make it easier? Because I know there's still a script that's got to be put together, of course, but does that make it easier when you're putting the edit together, knowing you already know the structure, kind of?
So it's paint by numbers effectively by that point. So there was a few things that went off from the storyboard, but the bulk of it is then, okay, fine, I know I need to match that up. As opposed to the Bench and Bench and Blood Moon, where it was much more run and gun. It was let the actors run and we'll grab it, and particularly with the Bench because it was in Polish and I don't speak Polish. This edit was a lot easier, mainly down to the storyboard. But yeah.
Good. Okay, no, you've done a brilliant job, guys. So thank you very, very much to both of you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thanks for your time. Thank you.